In this video tutorial, we will learn regarding the relation between dissolved oxygen and biological oxygen demand. So students often get confused between dissolved oxygen and biochemical oxygen demand. So basically they have an inverse relationship. Okay. So if the DO is more, that means the BOD is less. Okay. So they have an inverse relation. So first let's learn the basic of that. DO is the amount of oxygen dissolved in water which is required by the aquatic organisms, flora and fauna. Okay. But what happens is that when the organic matter increases, so if let's say if any industry is dumping waste and the organic matter is increasing, so what will happen is that the microorganisms that are already present in the water, I repeat, the microorganisms, they are already present in the water, they will use up the dissolved oxygen. Okay, they will use up the dissolved oxygen for the breaking down of this organic matter, this complex organic matter, into simple organic matter, or let's say into the CO2 and H2O. So all this DO will be consumed by the microorganisms. Okay. Now no dissolved oxygen is remaining for the aquatic flora and fauna. Okay. Why? Because the load, the biological oxygen demand was very high. Biological oxygen demand, BOD, or you can say biochemical oxygen demand. The demand of oxygen is high because the organic matter is very high. Okay, so what will happen is that in that water the microorganisms need that dissolved oxygen for the organic matter to break down. So we say that when the BOD is high, that means the dissolved oxygen is less. At the same time, let's learn the inverse of it. Okay, so let's say there is a clean river over here, and then there is no oxygen that is present. Okay, there is no organic matter is present. Okay, so microorganisms will not require a huge amount of dissolved oxygen for the breaking down of organic matter. So because the BOD, the oxygen demand is less, as there is no organic matter. So in those waters the dissolved oxygen will be high. So let's conclude that in the rivers where the organic matter is dumped, so microorganisms will use up the dissolved oxygen for the breaking of those for the breaking of complex organic matter into simple. So in that case, that river will have less dissolved oxygen. Why? We will say that the less is dissolved oxygen is because of the high biochemical oxygen demand. The organic matter was more, the dump was more. While in the clean rivers where the organic waste or the organic matter is not dumped, so the microorganisms will not require that huge amount of dissolved oxygen for the breaking of such compounds, so that will have more dissolved oxygen for aquatic flora and fauna. That's why we say that they have an inverse relationship. Okay, here it is clearly written, as BOD increases, there is more organic matter to decompose, the oxygen rises, leading to decrease in DO. A high DO indicates less organic matters and lower levels for oxygen, resulting in lower BOD and more dissolved oxygen. If you have any more doubts, please write it in the comment section. I will try to solve it as much as I can. Okay, so this was the relationship between dissolved oxygen and biochemical oxygen demand. Thank you.